Good morning, Texas, or should I say, good morning, Harris County. So, I wanted to hop on here this morning and let me make sure everything's good. Yeah. So, I wanted to hop on here this morning to let everybody know that I have officially filed for state representative in District 127. I am so excited about becoming your state representative as an educator to represent public education in Austin. And I believe that we have a very good chance of winning this race this year because honestly, public education, we don't have another election. 2026 is our election. And I wanted to jump on here to share a little bit about me for those of you all who are just meeting me for the very first time or the second time and don't know much about me. And I want to share a little bit about my campaign, also a little bit about my let me check this again, make sure okay, it's streaming. And a little bit about my how you can support my campaign because honestly, uh, you know, campaigns don't run on just money alone, and campaigns don't want just run on volunteers. It's a balance of support with donations and a balance of volunteers that actually win campaigns. So, again, my name is Michelle Williams. I am a teacher in the Houston Independent School District. Yes, I am actually a teacher. For those of you all who don't know my story is Houston ISD was taken over by the state of Texas. I have been teaching for 26 years. I didn't anticipate this whole Houston ISD thing being what it actually is. But, as a veteran teacher, I am an actual education major. Went to school at Nova Southeastern University in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I have a master's degree in curriculum instruction and technology. And I love what I do. I love everything about teaching and learning. And the assault on public education is what has me in this fight. I've been fighting for the right to adequately teach our students in the public education system for my entire career. My career has been dedicated to teaching mathematics to students in underserved communities. And yes, I'm a math teacher. And I believe that math should be a gateway subject instead of a gatekeeper subject that keeps our students in underserved and underrepresented populations that from these jobs that are high earners. So I'm a member of the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics. I'm a member of the Benjamin Banneker Association, where we advocate for students, African American students, high quality math instruction. And we just don't focus on African American kids. We focus on um, our students, all students, but our main goal is African American students. I present at conferences during the summer, sometimes during the school year, and that's a little bit about me and who I am. If you want to learn more about me, you can go to michelleforstaterep.com or you can just Google me. um, I've gotten into this tug of war with disappointed administration uh, with because they are breaking laws and doing a lot of unethical things at the will of the commissioner of Texas. He is Commissioner Mike Morath, and the governor, because the commissioner is appointed by the governor, and Mike Morath wants to keep his job, so he has unleashed this appointed administration onto unsuspecting children. And my campaign is all about communities and kids. That's what it's about. What people don't understand, if you destroy communities or if you destroy the school system, you're essentially destroying communities. Because if you think about it, our communities are based around schools, school plays, school functions. Just recently with Halloween, our school down the street from me in my neighborhood had trunk or treat. I was out there with the community. So they're waging war on our communities, not just schools. It's not just one thing that they're focusing on. And with the governor actually out here saying that, I want to get rid of property taxes. No, he does not want to get rid of property taxes. He wants to get rid of school taxes. And I want to be transparent about how we got here. I've been teaching 26 years. I started as a first year teacher in Houston ISD. Houston ISD is home for me. Yes, it has its issues, but what school district or organization doesn't? Um, I believe in public education, and what people don't know is Houston ISD does not get very much money from the state of Texas. Houston ISD is a locally funded school district. That means that approximately 90% of HISD's revenue comes from school taxes. So, what I want people to know, and with me running, you get a real understanding of how they are attacking the bedrock of democracy. If you vote for Governor Abbott, you're voting to tear apart your own community, because the schools as we know it will not exist. Now, make no mistake, my campaign is not about not understanding that we don't need property tax reform. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is his focus is trying to do away with school taxes. And how we got here, and you'll hear more about this as I campaign for the general election, is the state of Texas, Greg Abbott, the governor, decided that they were no longer going to pay their fair share of school taxes. And I can tell you this as a homeowner. I've owned my home for 23 years. I've owned it for 23 years. So I watch property taxes. Our property taxes and school taxes, yes, it's a large portion, started to increase when the state decided it no longer wanted to pay its lion's share of school taxes. So, what school districts did is ask the local taxpayers to start shouldering that portion that the state no longer chose to give to school districts. That's how we got here. And I'm not saying that it was right, and I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm saying is the state of Texas is the reason why our school taxes are so expensive. They're the reason why, because they don't want to pay for schools. They don't. And if you believe anything that the governor is saying, then you're going to be hoodwinked and bamboozled, because he's only saying what you want to hear during election time. Remember that teacher advisory committee and teachers bought into it all and he selected the teachers? Those people rarely met, and those people, he didn't listen to them when they did meet. So his campaign and my campaign is about supporting our communities and kids. The school districts that are part of House District 127, they are Spring ISD, Humble ISD, all of Humble ISD, and Huffman ISD. So I have three school districts that are included in House District 127. And I will get around to speaking to those teachers. So if you know teachers in those school districts, tell them to visit my website at michelleforstaterep.com and learn more about my campaign. I will be speaking at the Humble ISD School Board meeting on December 9th. Don't, don't, I'm bad with dates. So I think it's on December 9th, if I'm not mistaken. So don't quote me on that. So I will be out there talking about how this is the craziness that's happening. We are charged with protecting children every day. But as an educator and a veteran educator, I know that these children are not mine, but I protect them as if they were mine. But when we make decisions about children, we need to consult their parents of those children, and the state of Texas has this problem with saying one thing and doing another. It really has this problem. So the Humble ISD school board decided, without consulting teachers, without consulting the parents or the community, about arming teachers with guns. They unilaterally made that decision about people's lives. Bullets don't have a name on it. They don't have a name when a person's shooting. There are a lot of questions that I have, and that's why I'm going to get out there and speak to that board about what they did, because it's disrespectful to the children's parents, it's disrespectful to the staff, and it's disrespectful to the community to arm teachers. And it just sends a bad message to the to the parents and the school districts. um so that's some of the things that I'm going to be out. If you're in Humble ISD, definitely come out and meet me at the school board meeting. I'll also be holding some chats with me about my campaign and my priorities. My number one priority is public education, and the bullet points underneath that are improving educators' working conditions along with salaries. People focus on, oh, teachers are not making enough. Well, we need to focus on retention. And to be honest with you, salaries is only a small portion of that. The disrespect that teachers are enduring from the state of Texas and the commissioner of education, it's shameful, because the commissioner of education that's the office of compliance. He has allowed the Republicans to politicize things that should have been taken care of by the office of compliance. When school districts have issues, they're supposed to look at the Texas Educations, or contact the Texas Education Agency for guidance. We can no longer do that because TA is compromised. They're listening to the governor, and he's waging war on the public school system. So we, the community, are tasked with protecting our public schools. And that's just where we are. So that's my number one priority, is our public education system, and repealing vouchers. I do not support vouchers at all. I attended a meeting with one of our former board of managers. It's so shameful. Even the data that they were providing didn't even support the cause. 51% of the 900 people they surveyed, or parents they surveyed, said that they were happy with their public schools. So you pass vouchers on that. Texans do not want to send their tax dollars to pay for private schools. And that's definitely on my agenda to repeal that piece of legislation. Not only that, House Bill 1842, Senate Bill 1365 are also on my list of pieces of legislation to start adding guardrails, because I know it's going to take a couple of cycles to get those removed from law and get some sensible legislation in place. I am not saying school districts should not be held accountable when they fail children. That is not what I'm saying. But STAR testing does not say that you're failing children. It says that the children are taking the test one day and you're basing the whole school district on that. Also, funding for our school districts. The state of Texas does not want to fund school districts. They want to defund our public education systems. And it's funny how these things are taking place, because um, I want people to understand, when you are out here saying that the public school system is this and we need to get rid of, you're waging war on children. You're not waging war against me. I'm an adult. I'm not in the school. I work in the school. You're waging war against your neighbors. You're disenfranchising children whose parents have made a choice to stick with the public school system. It's divisive. We're dividing communities, pitting neighbor against neighbor based on decisions that parents made. What people don't know about me is my mother chose private school for me from the time I went to public school. My 3 years of my K-12 life. And that's what she chose to do. But her choice should not have any bearing on what happens in the public school system. And this idea of, I don't have kids in the public school system, so I don't want to pay for it. Well, I'm pretty sure there's more people like me that don't have children in the public school system that are paying into the system. That's part of the Texas Constitution. And for people to say that, oh, I don't have kids in the public school system, well, a lot of us don't. But that is our duty as citizens, to create, to pay and support students. That's just it. But the state of Texas needs to support our public school systems per the Texas Constitution. And right now, what it's doing, it's going against that. So my campaign, that is my first and foremost priority, is giving our teachers and our parents some real relief and support. Because what people don't understand is our school systems are political divisions. That's why we can't have collective bargaining, because what the way that the structure in Texas has been set up, we're political. School systems are political divisions, and they deem them as not being real employers. So that's the problem that we have in the state of Texas. So it is my goal to mobilize the community and make sure that we have a constant stream of community going to Austin on behalf of public educators, parents, and students, because that's what's missing. Since we can't collective bargaining with the school districts, we're going to constantly bombard state representatives about their duty to support public education and remind them who they represent, and they need to do right by their constituents. I have worked in rural counties. I taught in East Feliciana Parish, which is a rural county, rural area in Louisiana. So I understand firsthand about rural education, and they struggle a lot of times in areas where urban school districts don't. And the fact that they're saying that the governor's going to he's going to address property taxes and get rid of it, you're going to wipe out rural public education. And again, I'm not saying we don't need property tax reform. Attacking public schools is not the way that we have reform. We talk about, we put it out to the people and really educate them on what the ramifications are of eliminating school districts' only way to generate revenue. The state, first of all, we know what's not working when the state is not paying its fair share. Let's address that first. Address that the state is not paying for public education like it should. What it's doing is defunding it through policy, and that's why you see me here running for state representative. But I wanted to hop on here to put, give you an opportunity to see me. I am a live streamer. I am all things public education. I teach math, love science. So don't think that flood control is not important to me, because it is. I live in an unincorporated part of Harris County, and they are building out here, which we do need the development. However, I believe in working with Mother Nature, not working against Mother Nature in the name of greed. And that's what's taking place. Um, these retention ponds are unsafe. You're going to put I don't even know how deep they are, in a neighborhood with children, and you want people with families to live in these areas, so that you know the one of their children may end up stumbling off and getting caught in a retention pond. I read an article, I guess about 4 or 5 months ago, where a 5-year-old drowned in a retention pond. But they are not talking about these things. Retention ponds are hazards. They really are, and they don't belong in neighborhoods. And I know that that has been part of the ordinances for building houses, but we need to get back to common sense solutions when we're developing these areas, and retention ponds are not the issue. The flooding out here has increased. Um, I do hear Kingwood and their issue. I live 15 minutes from Kingwood, and what happened to them in during Hurricane Harvey was devastating, and it was wrong. It was. That was a lack of it was a lack of preparation on Harris County's part and the state's part, how some of those houses, when they opened that dam, some of those houses literally were wiped off the foundation, and that should not have happened. So though I'm very aware of the issues that are taking place, but we need to get back to common sense issues and doing what's right for the people in the state of Texas, and more specifically in House District 127. If you want to become a volunteer for my campaign, we're looking for volunteers. If you would like to donate to my campaign, you can go to michelleforstaterep.com, and there's a donate button there, and there's a button for volunteers. Thank you for being a part of this live stream, and I look forward to meeting more of you all and talking about your concerns and how we can make public education a real priority for the state of Texas. Thank you, and I look forward to meeting and talking with you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.